we got to the point where we did disclose, like, this is what it costs to maintain this house. This is what the mortgage is. This is what the heating is. This is what...
So, I have those conversations.
So that everybody understands. Now, they're not contributing, but I need them to know, because we had this conversation.
Stop cutting the goddamn heat on and walking around. What's on?
Or stop flickering on every goddamn light in the house as you walk, and not going to turn it off when you're walking out the room.
Right? So they need to know what it is. But I was also talking, we were having this conversation through the vantage point of, God forbid if anything happened to either one of us, could you, it was a conversation of, could you maintain this household?
Okay.
Right? And this is at the time when everybody was living in the house. So it's like, we didn't think they could. It's like, something happened to us. Could you maintain it? Because right now you're not paying. All you pay is your cell phone and your card note or whatever, and that's it, right? And at the time, we even had them on our insurance. So all you had was your card note.
Right, you even had no health insurance,
and
right?
one of them, the car was paid for. So so they don't have real bills. Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was like, could you even afford...
Maybe a credit card here and there, but that ain't that's not household bills.
So we were like, let me break it down to you.
Yeah, right.
Cheers, ladies. Welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Aunties, where we talk about just life in general and navigating this next chapter of our lives and just sharing a lot of fun and bringing a lot of joy
from our own opinions and perspectives. You agree, you may not agree, but we're just speaking the truth, speaking our truths. And listen, y'all been watching because the data on YouTube shows us that, right? It's like, which I love you. Thank you so much for the views. Thank you so much for watching. I need you to subscribe. And some of you guys do, but I need you to like it, share it. Any memorable moments, respond. We like the good, the bad, the ugly. You know? So like, share, subscribe, and help to grow this channel so we can still continue to bring you this wonderful content.
Yes.
Okay. So
let's dive in. So we've lived quite a bit of a life right now. We've experienced quite a bit. Parents and all those good things, friendships cultivated. Some have been dismantled, whatever have you. But there's a thing about letting people in and keeping people out, specifically our business. And is there a cost to that? What a thing that people really is taboo to talk about? In my opinion, should be finances and your intimate experiences with your partner.
I would say I agree that there's certain things that is taboo to even discuss. Now, equally, because I love to play devil's advocate, and you guys know this, I think sometimes...
Or tell a story.
Or make up a story. It's my creative brain. But I think that sometimes when you don't sharing a testimony can help another person. So it's like a fine line between what you share and what you don't share. So I bring that up because I think that there's some instances where people you'll find that, or couples you'll find that will share with complete strangers their testimony is something that went down if they think it can help another person, but they won't share that same story with their...
Because it's not going to be held over their head. Nobody going to knock them over the head with that thing that they shared, right? So listen... We've shared some things on this platform here that have been intimate experiences of ours. And hopefully it has been impactful or helped somebody. But I agree, like when you share something or an experience, there's somebody out there who's probably having that same experience and just don't know how to navigate it. So when you share and they see how you've gotten through it, it could be helpful.
But I don't think sometimes that's the only thing that helps by letting in or just letting out some of the things that's bothering you, no matter who it is that you're talking to. It also releases some of the stress that you're feeling because now you've been able to vocalize it versus just thinking all these crazy thoughts in your head and just taking it all in and not letting it out in no way.
Yeah, but again, what you're sharing and who you're sharing it with is important. So you're not going to share certain things with just any old body.
But you have people that will do that. Like they'll go to a bar and just open up to whomever because they need to let it out.
But again, I also say they may or may not see that person ever again.
Exactly. That's the reason why they did that.
There's a
Because
level
they
of
know
comfort.
it can't. Yeah.
Because they know it's like, I'm never going to see you again. I don't give a damn. You know?
Who you going to tell? You can't tell.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so I will also say this. So when we talk about like, I think even with young women, I think sometimes, you know how you have your group of girls and you're dating different men and y'all talking about the boyfriends and stuff like that and, you know, what he did or didn't do, or group chats and you're talking about sometimes intimate things that go down. I think sometimes at some point there needs to be a cutoff, particularly if there's someone that you actually are smitten with or you like. I think that's when those conversations, you don't have it with your girlfriend. Because that shit can turn into your husband. You know what I'm saying?
Could be.
Or not. But I think some women don't know those boundaries and they share too much. I'm just very careful on what you share. Like there's certain things you can share, but when you find that it's getting serious, you don't need to share that shit, even with your girls.
But even if you shared it with your girls, if you share it with your girls and it turns into him being your husband, I've never looked at any of my friends, including you guys, as somebody that would cross me.
Right.
I have complete trust in the fact that we got the girl code.
Yeah.
We know whomever is in our lives, there's no, that boundary can never be crossed.
Right.
And I've always lived by that. A few of my other friends don't feel that
There's a lot of women
that tells me you don't trust me.
Maybe they...
Oh, wait. When I was saying they don't feel that way, meaning that they'll just violate. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they would violate, but I'm also thinking in terms of
that
women.
You would violate. That's what they're thinking.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So now you're not, sharing any of your life with me. I'm always the one sharing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But that comes down to like some people just keep people out of their business. Whether I'm giving you all the tea, that don't mean you're gonna get it all from me.
I mean, you wouldn't get it all once I've gotten married.
But some people are just like that. They're not willing to talk about certain things that go on in it because for whatever reason, they could be protecting. It could be their overprotective nature about themselves, or they just they're just not open people, and they just don't feel like they want to share certain things. Like they'll keep everything like surface level. Yeah. They don't let you get deep. But
and I can see
even if you're doing that, they not realize
got serious.
Yeah, but they're not realizing that I'm sharing with you because I trust you and I feel comfortable with sharing these things with you, and I value this part of our relationship. So I'm willing to go a little deeper in things that I have going on. But that person they may not want to do the same in return to you, and I don't know if whether that means that they don't trust you or not. That's just who they are. They just don't share. In general, if they're sharing with somebody else more than they're sharing with me, I would feel some type of way.
And they are. So then that
would give me the question of does this person trust me or not? I could see the question.
That tells me you never did trust me. So now I know how to move.
Well, okay, I gotta play devil's advocate. What if the person what if the relationship is just different? Right?
That person views the relationship differently than you do.
Exactly. And that all plays a part in it. We were never really friends. Like
in a scenario, if I'm understanding your scenario, this person, you shared a lot of things
about my
beneath the surface level about you and experiences you had. And this person is not reciprocating. They're not doing anything. They're not opening up to you.
Yes.
But they're opening up to somebody else in your circle.
And I hear about it.
And so your take is that, okay, you trust them, but you don't trust me.
Yes.
Because you're not giving me the same inside look that you give everybody else.
So then it becomes, okay, we talked about this before. What tier of friendship you're in.
Yeah.
That goes to the thing I just said. She probably thinks this friendship is here.
And the other person is viewing. So it just means there's the different tiers of friendship. And I think, I guess it's all part of the conversation, but I think sometimes we have to either have the dialogue, okay, well, I thought we were this type of friend, apparently we're not. Or you move accordingly, like you said.
Move accordingly.
If you don't want to have
you stop giving.
You stop and you just move accordingly and just keep it popping.
I'm just at a point in my life where really reflecting on everything that I've done, how I acted, what throughout the years. And I'm just noticing certain things about certain individuals. And
that's fair. I think I'm
it just
with
made me realize.
Yeah, taking stock into the investment that you're making into this relationship that there's no ROI on it for you.
Yeah.
And I still love the
person.
two of them, yes.
Yeah.
I still love them
From afar.
but
No, I'm just
because
joking, I
of
don't know.
things that has happened as a result is making it hard for me to want to get back to that place without being hurt again. So I'm just more cautious now, and it goes back into, it takes a lot for me to trust somebody because I can trust you as far as I could throw you.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
So I guess that kind of lends to the expense piece of it for you, because we talked about keeping people out of your business, but at what expense? So for me, understanding your situation, like, you've laid your stuff on the table and this person did not do the same. And that caused some time, that caused some feelings, that caused some emotion, that caused some hurt. So I think there is an expense, good or bad, behind what you share, because the good side of it is, like we talked in the very beginning, is that somebody can benefit from something you share because they either have experienced it, they're going through it, and it can help them see how things could turn around.
I was just saying that to me is secondary. 9 times out of 10, when somebody is really opening up, and it could be to a complete stranger, they need to release. So I think that's primary, and
just getting what they got to get out, like purging it. But if you purge to just any old body, I'm not just anybody, take the stranger out, because your whole idea of a stranger that you probably never see them again. But if you're purging to one specific person that's going around now spreading all your stuff, that's like, I told you this in confidence, and you betrayed my trust, and you shared it with God knows how many people, and who knows what the backlash of that could be.
And it would
be
depend
costly
on what it was, because that's an ass whipping in the making.
It could be costly for everybody. It could be costly for everybody.
But if it's not worth you going to jail for, I'm gonna let it roll off my shoulder, and I'm gonna treat you accordingly. And you're gonna know why I'm treating you at some point the way I'm treating you.
I think to flip this, is also about how much do you offload on people where it becomes too much for that person. Sometimes sometimes you can offload a lot on somebody, not understanding they
don't have the capacity
to really help you or deal with you. But the person is so in dire need to shed it that they just diarrhea of the mouth, blah, and they,
and you have people like that not realizing,
not practicing discernment to understand who can I.
This is the person that always answers the phone every time I call, regardless, no matter what time, day, or night it is. They're gonna answer the phone, and I have diarrhea in the mouth, and I hang up and go about my business. That person's gonna always get that call.
Now they got that shoulder. Now they got your burdens, and they may be going through some stuff, but they didn't even have an opportunity to share with you because you just went, So I feel like people don't practice discernment enough or even emotional intelligence to, like, read the tea leaves. Is this person, can I offload on some, or even ask? Because I think sometimes, even especially if you're in a relationship or have a friendship, you naturally think this person has the capacity and can handle your situation
all the time, whatever. It's just an easy ask. Do you have a moment? I need to just let something off my chest. Do you have the emotional capacity to listen to my shit today?
This is why I've always been very selective of when I talk. That's why I'm the quiet one, always observing my surroundings, because I can decipher who can I talk to and who can I not. And it takes a long time to get into that space with me. A long time.
But everybody doesn't ask that question. Do you phrase? I love the way you phrase, like, who has the emotional capacity to deal with my bullshit?
Yeah. And it may not be bullshit, but I mean, it could be bullshit. Because sometimes it do be bullshit, right? But
9 times out of 10, I like to use that phrase. 9 times out of 10, it's some bullshit.
Yeah. That you could have easily, you probably could have figured it out, right? But you just need to let it out, hear it out vocally, and have somebody tell you that's some bullshit.
Right. Sometimes you know what you need to do, but you want somebody to validate your bullshit.
Yeah.
You really need somebody to call you out on your bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So come on.
Yeah.
Now you done offloaded shit on me. I don't want to deal with this shit.
But when it comes to true friends, I'm a firm believer Your bullshit is my bullshit.
Oh, she always says
and
that.
My bullshit is your bullshit. I'm always...
I'll try to save you from my bullshit.
Nah.
Thank God I don't have too much.
Yeah.
But, nah. I think I agree with you. People don't understand. Other people just not always available to hear that kind of stuff. So we talked about, talking about finances. I know we already talked about intimacy. But what do you think about talking about finances with friends, family, stranger at the bar?
I've never really had a problem too much sharing. I've never actually divulged how much I made. And I never really... I guess it's twofold. It all depends on who I'm talking to. As I said, I'm one of those people, I need to really be able to trust you for me to be able to divulge that type of information. Yeah. And if I'm not, back to relationships, if I'm not in that position where I can divulge that type of information to you, no, we're going to keep it as if we can't have a shared account. You have yours, I have mine. And because if you asking about life insurance policies and stuff, and back to that, if we're not moving towards marriage and you talk about like wanting to know who's the beneficiary and all
You're
that,
not knowing all of none of my financial
John, I'm not telling you that shit.
That to
exactly.
I tell you, some people was in the
sending red
people was in the
flags to
comments.
me.
They was in some of the comments on one of the posts about that. They was like, the same thing happened to me. What's wrong with these people?
I read that.
That's sending red flags to me. Like, nigga, what you planning?
Right? Tell me, baby.
Trust me, you gonna get caught.
At one point, did this conversation come up? Y'all in the bed? No, I remember.
How you even bring it up?
So,
like,
who's on your life
insurance
policy, baby?
Like, who's the person that's going to be your emergency contact type stuff?
What is happening?
Exactly.
The gall, the audacity.
Yeah, I don't even know how you can even get comfortable to have that kind of conversation.
I'm like, exactly. Nigga shit up that night. Like, what? You trying to knock me off?
Right, exactly.
If I'm not sitting with that nice fat rock on here and we ain't got a definitive date, don't ask me about life insurances.
Listen,
hey,
we ain't there yet.
That's insane to me. Yeah. Like, just the thought.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on who the people are that you are talking to about finances. I technically have not, I think the only person I've ever knew my exact dollar amount of my salary may have been my mom, and my kids paid goddamn financial aid. If it wasn't for financial aid, they would not know either.
They gotta know.
They none of they, but
I wouldn't even tell the kids because then they think you got money on them.
No, I had to devote it for financial aid for school and stuff like that. When she applied for college, rather.
Yeah, you have to
give the information. So, because they've been asking me for years, and it's like, well, now I got to give it to them.
Yeah, exactly.
I typically talk in general terms. I never put like a exact dollar amount or anything like that because it just, to me, why does it matter to you?
So in terms of my kids, same thing. They definitely found out, what we bring in and everything from financial aid because you got to fill out all those things. And it's stupid because I had to fill them shit out and
then you goddamn
aid, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I will say in terms of finances, we're talking about in terms of salary, but I'm talking about like I want to look at it from a larger vantage point. Like with my kids, we got to the point where we did disclose, like, this is what it costs to maintain this house. This is what the mortgage is. This is what the heating is. This is what...
So, I'll have those conversations. Yeah.
So that everybody understands. Now, they're not contributing, but I need them to know because we had this conversation.
Stop cutting the goddamn heat on and walking around with t-shirt shorts on.
Or stop flickering on every goddamn light in the house as you walk. And not going to turn it off when you're walking out the room.
Right? So they need to know what it is. But I was also we were having this conversation through the vantage point of, God forbid if anything happened to either one of us, could you, it was a conversation of, could you maintain this household?
Okay.
Right? And this is at the time when everybody was living in the house. So it's like, we didn't think they could. It's like, something happened to us. Could you maintain it? Because right now you're not paying. All you pay is your cell phone and your card note or whatever, and that's it, right? And at the time, we even had them on our insurance. So all you had was your card note.
Right, you even had no health insurance, right?
And one of them, the car was paid for. So So they don't have real bills. Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, could you even
Maybe
afford
a credit card here and there, but that
ain't
that's
real
not household bills.
So we were like, let me break it down to you.
Right.
If something had what this is,
It's gonna
like,
cost
you,
to live
like,
here.
and even after you
and maintain
exhaust
it.
health, life insurance and all that shit,
You still got to pay
guys still
taxes. You still got to pay home insurance.
Exactly. And then I
you
even
might
broke it
still have
down
to pay a
further.
mortgage, maybe. You know
You know what I'm saying? Then I had to even break it down further because at that time I was like, everybody's under his health insurance. God forbid something happened to him. There's no health insurance unless you go under mine.
Yeah.
So now, like, that's another layer of expenses because naturally the price point is going to be higher for me than what he was paying.
Right.
So all these things, we have these discussions with them. So twofold, I want them, it's not so much like we don't want anything to happen to us, but it's less about that, but it was more about education in terms of them letting them know this is what life is.
Yeah.
You want all these luxuries, right? You want all these luxuries, but this is what it costs. And even educating them too, like, yes, you have that wonderful car, but the insurance, we got the boat. You ain't getting shit. That insurance because your ass is under 25. That's
man. Listen, I just put my daughter on mine, and girl, couldn't you have waited till you was out of here to go get your damn driver's license?
Not even that. Do you have that rainy fund if something go wrong with that car? You gonna be able to
that
fix
too?
it?
All those things.
No, we have all those discussions, you know, and Richie talks about credit with them, like educating them and all that stuff. Because we did he put them on his credit. So they came out, they had credit, good credit, you know. And basically here, I'm gifting this to you because now you got the benefit of my shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
You coming out here that you can, you know what I'm saying? You able to, don't mess it up.
Yeah.
Don't put it on my shit because my shit, it's good. I got better. But either way, I'm joking. You know, I be talking shit sometimes.
Yeah. But
we have those discussions because I think it's
very
important to have a
important.
discussion with the kids because you're briefing them now. At the same time, I think when it comes to friends, yes, I think I shared this in another podcast. Like there are certain group of friends where I have shared salary. We all share each because we feed off of each other and we're just like hustlers and no one's getting jealous. We all pretty much are in the same, like, give or take
range,
maybe 20 grand, if that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we feed off, we constantly talk about business and stuff. So that it's fine. But I also shared, there have been instances where I've shared my salary way back when. But we're talking about more in my 20s with someone, a friend, and it was used against me. It was I didn't realize that person was envious, right? So, you know, that now, so you learn. Yeah. Now we're in the age in society where the younger generations, Gen Z, they talk about it all the time because they're thinking, okay, if this one's getting paid $75,000 and I'm in the same position, I should be getting paid. But so there's something. I know we come from an era where we didn't ever discuss that. Yeah, there's something to be said about. So it's interesting because we do come from wherever we don't discuss that, but I was always one, I would try to find somebody's salary. I got to know, you know, and because I want to know if I got. You know, and then when I find out I did, now I'm negotiating because 9 times I was a producer, I'm bringing in the business. Right. Anyway, so I do applaud Gen Z for that, but I think there's other element of it is learn how to negotiate. Yeah. Because even when you get down to it and it's apples and apples and you both are getting paid the same, maybe y'all both ain't producing the same. Like you have to always learn how to advocate for yourself. And I think that's where sometimes, not all Gen Z, but sometimes they lose that. Like, don't just get on the bandwagon, like advocate for yourself. That's an element you have to learn how to do, which we had to do in order for us to get what we wanted.
But you also, sometimes somebody has to show you that or tell you that because you don't always know that.
True.
I had to be one of those ones, unfortunately.
What, to learn?
Yeah, that piece.
Oh, same here. I didn't. I was grateful. I was grateful for what I got because I always worked from like 14 or whatever, but like to say I had a real salary job. I thought I was making money. I was still living at home. You know, I was only 19. I know I was making more than most of the people in my family. So I was like, I was making money.
I said that in terms of there was a point in time where I didn't factor in travel time and all that stuff.
Oh,
just little
the pandemic helped us figure that out.
Now I factor all that in. And I'm at a point now, like I mentioned before, I'm not willing to give you an hour of my day, no more than that, to travel. And that's going and coming.
Same.
I'm not jumping on nobody's train to get to work. I'm used to driving to work if I have to go in the office. But I'm not spending an hour and a half, damn near 2 hours just to get to work, to only be there for 8 hours. And then you're coming into rush hour in the evenings coming home. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't take 2 hours. It takes longer than that. Mm-hmm. I knew people that was coming from the beginning of Jersey.
But that was a choice they make. People come from freaking Pennsylvania and go to the city to work.
Man, listen, I'm not.
So you're making the choice not to do it.
I hope that they factored in all of that, and that's why the salary commensurate.
Well,
sometimes that's their choice.
So that's their choice.
It's a financial choice for some people because even though they're traveling longer and maybe paying maybe a little bit higher of a travel fee, their home costs a hell of a lot less.
Their home so it's a give and take, and you would opt in not to do it, but there might be somebody who is like a dude that's a young dad that's like that's
which is
the job,
fine.
And he's just trying to make.
Oh, that's they're trying to get to where they gotta get to.
They just like, let me get this money. I know, and I'm gonna thug this out for a little bit until I can find something closer.
I guess my position was different because I was a single mom.
Yeah,
but if you're single and you want to do that, and it's your way of moving around and traveling and stuff, that's different.
Even when I wasn't a single mom, I still didn't want to be that far away from my kids. Even I know I could had their dad or I had family members or whatever. I still didn't want to travel more than 30 minutes because I had children. And even after they became, self-sufficient and I didn't need to be ripping and running for them, I still don't want to travel more than 30 minutes for work. So,
see,
all of that, like this.
Yeah, I wasn't there at that point. It was a short time where I did not factor any of that in. I just looked at the salary piece and not everything that came with it.
I think a lot of people.
And once I got to a point where, you guys are offering this, and you're asking me what I want, and I'm telling you, and you're willing to give it to me.
Well, that's when you could go higher.
Yeah.
That's why you never know. You always flip it back to them. They ask you, you say, what's your budget?
No.
Actually, that's not as polished as it needs to be. Don't listen to me. But you...
Yeah.
But just basically is, if they're asking you, flip the question right back to them and say, what did you have designated for this position? Like, what salary range? You want to make sure you put the onus on them to give you something. Otherwise...
They lock you in.
You're locked in. So when they were more than willing to give you they were like, shit, that might have been either.
No, but I've gotten to a point where I've gone
they probably could
higher.
They probably couldn't offer it that level. They probably had to offer it at a higher level.
Yeah, because of
always
flip
the range in the field.
Always flip it back. But
see, I'm in this place right now.
All good. But always flip it back because they, and this is the other thing too. Y'all know I'm in HR. We as women and particularly Black women, we just because we haven't been at certain salaries when they are willing to give us what we think. So you ask for whatever, that is 9 times out of 10 you could have got 20% more. You see what I'm saying? Because we're so happy to get it.
Because sometimes you never seen that.
You never seen that much before,
so you're like a lot to you.
Yeah, you're happy to get it, and you can. But we're learning. We're learning. We're just like you've shifted and changed.
But it's twofold to that. I've asked for more, and I know what I can get now. If I ever have to move on to the next, but I also feel that sometimes the salaries for some of these execs is just entirely ridiculous. Because that poses the problem of you having to cut people out of the company because there's no money or you trying to put more money into your pocket.
Are you talking about the... So I
budget,
yeah, but also too, it's like, so I'm gonna say yes and no to that.
Okay.
There's so many variables. There's so many variables associated with that. How much money is being brought in? Sometimes there's situations where yes, they're very much high salaries, but then there's situations where maybe that person is an actual producer and responsible for bringing
which is 40, fine,
50% of the revenue. I mean, so it's a lot of different variables associated with that.
But to get us back on topic.
Yep.
So we know there's different. You share things about finances differently. We all share things about finances differently. What else would you think would be off the table or on the table? Because we talk about sharing and at what expense that you would possibly not share. We already talked about intimacy. We know we're not doing that. Finances, we know.
What about health? Because I think some people depending on what it is, the scenario, if you're a breast cancer survivor and that can benefit someone else to learn early warning signs or what you could do once you hear that you're diagnosed. I have a very dear friend of mine who is a survivor but she will help anybody that
try to navigate.
Even if they because
it's
she
a
went
process.
through it, and it's a process, and it's hard. It's horrible sometimes the way you're treated, particularly if you're a person of color, because like she got her diagnosis on a Friday, and it's like, oh, you got breast cancer. We'll chat with you on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like what?
Yeah.
It's like so. She was able to, after now she's on the other side of it, she can now share her story to help people, someone else.
Yeah, to advocate for themselves. Like, I mean, similar. I had a girlfriend too as well who went through it. And I'm literally by her side from except for the way from the time they told her to the time, all through all her treatment and everything. And she was she's older than me, but some people don't want to share that stuff, right? So on the opposite side of sharing it, they keep it to themselves. And you see this sometimes with people who've probably gone through it more than once or whatever for that specific disease, and they just tired, they don't want to share. But then there's other health things they don't want to share because, or they don't even want to find out themselves.
Yes, because they're scared.
Because they're scared. But then they don't know who could receive the information.
It's not, I was about to say, I guess to piggyback off of that, sometimes people don't want to tell you anything is because they want whomever around them to treat them normal. Because the minute someone finds out that you're sick, their attitude, and they treat you differently, and sometimes they pity you. And if they don't want you to feel like that, they want it all the way to up to the end. That's the type of relationship I want you. I don't want you to pity me. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I don't want you to be in pain with me. I just want us to be.
I think that for some people, there's certain situations where sharing health can benefit others. I think that I'll just say that.
I think I feel like the point we probably made here, there can be a positive. I don't want to say positive or negative. There could be a cost to sharing things. And sometimes the cost could be a beneficial cost. And sometimes the cost could be, I don't know, what's the opposite of beneficial? Non-beneficial cost. Meaning that it didn't help anybody, or somebody got hurt in the process from the information being shared. Where on the opposite, somebody can benefit and it can help somebody. And that could be personal information, that can be health information, that can even be financial information, because they're helping people learn how to navigate sometimes trauma. It depends, because trauma could be, I feel like trauma could be very heavy sometimes, but
but if you're planning on being with someone, they need to know, I believe they should know every intimate part of you. Not every but the trauma like that, because you don't know, it may affect things.
It's impacting your relationship. Yes, they need to understand what's happening, why you're responding this way. Because if you don't tell them, then they don't know, and they're thinking something in their mind probably wanders or whatever. But I don't know about sharing every intimate detail with somebody, because sometimes, go back to the cost or the benefit of it, is they can hold that against you, or they can start treating you or use it against you. Start treating you in a way because they're like, oh, this person got away with it. I'm gonna try, And I mean, that may not be the case. Maybe they'll be like, oh, I need to handle her with a little bit more care and make her feel comfortable. So it can, like I said, there's an upside and a downside to sharing information. It's just a matter of, you have to have discernment, like you said, who, when, and where.
I've been more comfortable to talk about stuff now, but I did share it twice in the past, and it was used against me. So it took a long time for me to even forgive and truly forget what I've been through. And now the more I talk about it, it helps me forget and forgive.
Maybe not forget, but you can forgive, and you can start to
heal.
Move
to
heal.
Yeah.
So so I'll say all that to say is there's no positive or negative. It just depends on who, what, when, and where, and what the situation is. So sharing information is a way
Gift
of
and a
caring,
curse.
right?
Gift and a curse.
I think we can end it on that. Just have some discernment.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. Have some discernment.
Yes.
Don't be blabbing all your business out to people.
Everybody ain't got to know. Cheers. See you at the next episode.